Hello, everybody. Bumi Benro, welcome. Abosede Kayode. Welcome, everyone. Adeline Isioma. Welcome. Blessings, Raphael. Welcome. Folashade Idowu. Welcome. Taiwo Ifesanya. Oluwaseun Kueno. Folashade. Josephine. Toyin. Lucky. Osage. Lola Shorumke. Wow, it's been a while. Alfred Eager. Well, welcome everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So today is another day of, of knowledge, of learning, of God's visitation. And I want us to, examine a particular book today with Dr. Success. With Dr. Success. And the book is a book that you probably heard about. How to make Nigeria the greatest country in the world. How to make Nigeria the greatest country in the world. Now, this book, a lot of people who read it or who see the title think this is just bluffing. This is just a bluff, and this is just, to sell a book, and this cannot be true. This is too good to be true. It cannot be true. Well, I don't know if some of you have seen the comment from somebody else that has read this book that we are examining in the program that we call their DSA. And the person said he believes that this is the strongest of all my books. That's impossible because there are so many books that anybody could say is the strongest. But it's because this changed his life. Because this person wanted to leave Nigeria and disappear and leave Nigeria for good. But when he read this book, his impression and opinion of Nigeria is totally changed. And now, this person says it's the greatest thing that has happened to him to be a Nigerian. But many people still don't know this fact. So what is it? Because Dr. Success edited this book for me. So, Dr. Success, what information does this book hold in itself that makes somebody to say, this is absolutely my best book that has ever been written, and that this book must become compulsory from primary school to university, and that after this book, that the man said he feels like it can change the world, and that it can turn the world upside down, and that this book, that it must be a Bible for all Nigerians. So what is it in this book that makes somebody to come to that kind of conclusion? What is happening?
Well, I first of all think that I had the same impression as the
first time.
The first time.
And you are the first one to review it.
I was the first person to go through it, to review it. And I had that same impression about making Nigeria the greatest country in the world. Because I was thinking such level of audacity and confidence to make Nigeria the greatest country in the world from what everything that's been said about Nigeria, everything that is known about Nigeria now, or what people are saying. But to have come out with that audacity was, for me, very, very... I didn't know what to think about it initially, until I began to go through the material, to read through the book. And then when I read through the book for the first time, or let me say perhaps about the first time really, that I knew that as a Nigerian, this is it for me. That there's nothing in the world, after reading this book, I'm too confident that there's nothing in the world that will ever make me let go of my green passport. I will never for any reason let go of my green passport, because I just became so, and I can reason with that person who wrote and said this for him is your best, is the greatest. Because I could resonate with that. The fact that being a Nigerian, after reading this book, I discovered that being a Nigerian is actually a rare privilege.
That's what the guy was saying too.
That it's actually a rare privilege to be a Nigerian. To be a green passport carrying citizen of Nigeria. So that for me was very... initially I thought it was audacity, but then when I read the book, I knew that it was just fact. That this is basically what has happened before. We are not even just talking about how to make it, because in the book you went through history.
All aspects of things.
Yes, prehistoric independence, our pre-independence history. You went through our history to show us that Nigeria has actually led the world before. Certain things happened, we made some slips, and then you showed us how we can actually come back again to lead the world in every area, in every sector. So I think that was why that person was very bold enough to be able to come out and say this book has changed his life.
And that is the greatest book I've ever written.
And that this book is a
must become a Bible.
A Bible for every Nigerian. Because every Nigerian that reads this book suddenly becomes bold and so proud.
He said he begins to think that everything is possible for him.
Everything is possible.
And there is nothing he cannot do.
With this book, basically, because what you were able to show us through the content of the book, I will be able to come out any day and be able to declare that I'm a proud, confident, I'm proud to be a Nigerian. Any day, anywhere. It doesn't matter where I am. Because I suddenly realized that being a Nigerian is not a curse after all. It's actually a privilege. It's even more than a blessing. It's actually a privilege to be a Nigerian, with all of the content, with all of the people that were profiled in the book and all of that. To be one of them, to be among them, to be able to say that I'm a Nigerian like this person is actually a privilege.
And in this book, we are not even profiling people like Wale Soyinka or Obasanjo.
No.
Those are the dying generation. We are not even touching the...
Yes, there are a lot of people that are coming
on. Yeah. We are not even talking of those
generation. No. We are not even talking about all of that era. We are talking about the new breed, the new shoots
that the world doesn't even know much about yet. Because most of these names here, of these things here, most people don't even know.
They don't know them. 1% of the people that were profiled, that you gave their statistics, you gave their info, their impact in the world. 1% of these people, I'm sure that a lot of Nigerians don't even know about. And these are people that are making waves all over the world, that are doing substantive things, and you show their contribution to every sector. How Nigeria is actually the bedrock of some of the civilized countries that we have in the world today. And just with a little idea, with certain strategy and systems put in place, we can actually tap into the potential of all of these people and get back to our position as the #1 country in the world.
What is the emotion that was going through you as you are realizing all these things, from one point to the other, from one point to the other, from one statistic to the other? What was happening to you?
To me.
Because this man said he couldn't sleep.
Wow.
He was just praying, crying. In fact, he set up a movement now in Nigeria to make sure that this book goes to all schools.
For me, the impression is the fact that
the emotion,
my generation, for my generation, and every Nigerian of my generation, the dream is always to get into the United States, into the United Kingdom, get another passport as soon as possible, do everything that is possible
to get another passport.
Many Nigerians.
But people then will be wondering, why have I been outside Nigeria for 32 years?
That's the question. A lot of people will ask that.
And I've not gotten
it. You didn't change your passport. You didn't get another citizenship. A lot of Nigerians will never understand that, because that is the average dream of a young Nigerian, to be able to get into another country and as soon as possible exchange your passport as quick. Even some of my colleagues were doing that. just staying a few years in the country, they are quickly exchanging their passport with another citizenship because nobody wants to identify due to the ignorance of the content of this book. Many of the young people do not want to identify with Nigeria. They don't want to be called Nigerian. To them, it's like being called Nigerian as it is. They want to get through Libya, get on the sea, get into Italy and Europe and just escape. But then, when I went through the content of this book, the feeling, the emotion for me was just so
overwhelming.
Gratitude.
Gratitude.
It was gratitude. I first of all was grateful to God that He made me Nigerian. I suddenly saw the purpose, the essence, the need for me to be in Nigeria, for me to be able to actualize purpose on earth. I need to be among one of these people. I needed to come in the form, in the shape of one of the people that was profiled there. And I saw myself in the system and the program that was outlined in the book. So that for me was the impression.
Now, in this book, should we start with introduction or chapter 1?
Okay, we could start with the introduction.
Let's start with introduction because the introduction is very, very captivating.
We can even start from the
cover. Okay, let's start from the cover. Let's start from the cover.
Yes.
How to make Nigeria the greatest country in the world. A dream or a mirage or a reality.
It's actually our history and it's our future.
Okay, you have to tell us about it.
It's actually our history because Nigeria has led the world before.
And many people will say, is that true?
And many people, they are not even aware. They are not. The people are so ignorant of because histories are these things that you brought to the surface, deep research and all of this. People are no longer taught in schools, and it's quite unfortunate. And that is why a lot of Nigerians.
And it's not a Nigerian who is based in Nigeria who is writing that, but a Nigerian who is not been to Nigeria
for a long time. That as recently as 1976, for the first time I discovered that even as recently as 1976, the naira was stronger than the dollars and the pounds. I never knew that.
When I was leaving Nigeria, in 86. Naira was, that time there was inflation. So naira became 1-to-1 with dollar.
Ooh. In 1986.
86. As recently as 86. Not even 76.
And at 76, Nigeria was, the currency was far stronger than the dollar and the pound.
It was, yes.
And I was, for the first time, I was really, this is really very, very true. That I could hold a naira in my hand and I would be very, very proud of it, that this is actually better than the foreign currencies that everybody is dying to have now.
Yeah.
So I think that history needs to be brought back again for people to understand that that actually was our history. For many sectors of the world, even right now, as things are, the media is making us to believe that things are very bad, there are still certain things you brought out in the book that shows that even for certain places, for certain things, that Nigeria is actually the bedrock of the world in certain sectors, even as bad as things currently are.
Many areas.
That Nigeria is still upholding, Nigeria is still the pillar of the world in those sectors. And people don't know all of these things. Now, a lot of Nigerians have no idea.
So this is not a mirage.
It's not a mirage. It's our past and it's our future.
It's our past, our present.
It's our present, and
even though it might not be a visible present to a lot of
people, yes.
But it's still there in lots of areas, yes. And okay, so when we go to the introduction, it's very fascinating.
Yes.
You know, it's because it's very dramatic. The way the introduction is written.
Yes.
Tell us about this introduction, how dramatic it is, and very pictorial, very pictorial. Okay. Tell us about it.
So, what happened in the introduction of the book was that DSA went with his team, or with some members of his team, to Nigeria. You had some engagement in Nigeria at that time, and you had gone with some of your team, and the port of arrival was the Muritala Mohammed International Airport, and you had a lot of people from Ukraine, from Sweden, America, Europe, from everywhere on your team. And immediately you landed at Muritala Mohammed International Airport. Some members of the team had begun to look for the soil of Nigeria.
That was the first thing they looked for.
The first thing they were looking for was the soil of Nigeria somewhere, doing all kinds of things. It was a little drama at the airport. And Nigerians were not used to such things, to see white people some
going to
kiss
the soil of Nigeria and looking for the sand
to
pack the sand of Nigeria together with them to Europe.
And it was a lot of drama, and somebody called.
But even leaning down at the ground and kissing
the soil, the ground of Nigeria. And somebody called your attention to it that what is happening?
Have they lost their mind?
What is happening to
these
Oyibos? And when you got to the scene, you asked from some of these people what is going on, and they said that we are. In fact, they were not even addressing. They were addressing the Nigerians.
Yes.
That we are grateful to the country that sent forth Sunday Adelaja to the world as a liberator to nations, that they had no idea what the impact of DSA is to the world. And to them, they were just normal people. But to the Europeans who had come, it was a spectacular country. So they were very grateful to the country. They were very grateful. And that was why they would do anything to even pick like a soil as a souvenir back to the country. So they were very, very grateful. They were very, of course, they loved it. They loved the fact that it's an opportunity for them to be in Nigeria at that point in time.
And that they own their lives to
the country, to a Nigerian that was sent forth as an ambassador to the world. So, and you brought out the fact that you were just a portion, like a little portion of a massive ocean of individuals who were like you, who, for the way you described in the introduction was the fact that it wasn't you didn't see yourself as spectacular.
Anybody special. No.
Special. There were people who were more gifted.
Yes, I'm just one of these little grains from that same country. There are millions of them.
Millions of people who are
just like me.
Potential like you, who had better opportunities even, who had drive, who had the wisdom, the know-how and all of that. And you showed that is just a little portion
of what Nigeria, what could come
out of Nigeria. And you said that every time you see like a street child, people they call the Amajiri, you saw a Sunday Adelaja in every one of those people. Every time you see a Nigerian, you see people who could do better, greater things that you had been able to accomplish, even outside of your home country. And you also said the fact that if you were able to achieve all of that, without support, without family,
poor
background, the environment was hostile in Europe and all of that. If you were able to do that, how much more are we going to be able to do if that same environment was cultured in Nigeria, if the environment was able to support the people? So that was the scenario in the introduction where Europeans,
very dramatic,
and people that we otherwise, a lot of Nigerians will otherwise look up to, were also looking up to us, and that is
and being grateful to our country,
and they are very grateful.
Now, then we go to this chapter 1 that says the foundation for my audacity, because I know that people are going to doubt me, and since I know that they are going to doubt me, I started out by talking about the great things that we have done already. How we have already led the world, in what areas we have taught the world. And not only because I'm saying it, but by the admission of some of the greatest countries in the world. I've admitted that, we are learning from Nigeria. Even these are present day situations, some of them. So, what will you say about this chapter? And what are some of those stories that will convince, apart from the money and currency, the people say, okay, that's gone. Okay, even recently, right now, what are some of the facts that we have in this chapter 1 to prove to people that Nigeria has taught the world, is teaching the world, and can become the greatest country in the world?
The first fact that the readers are going to meet in chapter 1 is the story of the 2015 general elections, where the ambassador, the then US ambassador to Nigeria at the time, James Whistle, after he observed the election, said that even the permanent voters card that was used during that election,
because the Nigerian government and the Nigerian people designed a different technology for voting, electric voting,
which was high technology, electronic voting, which was high technology. It was so high tech that
the US doesn't even have
the US ambassador confessed that this is not even what he uses to vote in the United States, that his own voters card in the United States is not as developed, as advanced as this. So when in Nigeria,
and that America should come and learn.
And America needs to learn how to design that voters card, such a, the permanent voters card.
Yes.
So when Nigerians hold their permanent voters card, what they don't understand is actually the fact that they hold something that
They
is
are
superior.
holding technological know-how.
Know-how, advancement.
Yes, and it was designed by a Nigerian, only it was printed somewhere else, but Nigerians, design it and they came up with that technology. It's a digital technology and future technology of the world that even Western European countries don't have.
Wow. So when he made that bold statement, he was bold enough to be able to declare
the American ambassador to Nigeria
declared that I don't have, or in fact, there is a paragraph where you specifically put his words directly. He said, I could read from here, he said, I'm very impressed by the decision of INEC to use technology in this election. The permanent voters card are very high-tech. They are more high-tech than my voters card from the state of Virginia in the United States. My voters card does not have biometric. It does not have my fingerprints. The high-tech gives the process more integrity. I congratulate INEC, which is the election organizing body in Nigeria. I congratulate INEC on taking the part of high-tech. I think we need to come and study it so that we can use it in my country.
America needs to come and study it. And if you listen to Nigerians, the way they talk about INEC, it's only negative.
It's negative.
The way Nigerians talk about themselves, about their own country, only negative.
Which is very, very unfortunate.
Without knowing that we are even leading the world. When did we start voting? And America has been voting for 200 years. We just started in 99 or something.
Yes, we go back to democracy in 99 and we started voting again.
Yeah.
So the American ambassador was bold enough to be able to confess that when it comes to voters registration and the issuance of voters card, America actually needs to come to Nigeria
to learn the technology.
So Nigeria is actually currently right now more advanced than the United States.
So, but the good thing about this is that if we could do in that one area like that, it means that in any other area too, we actually have the potential to lead the world.
Yes, many of those sectors and all of those areas were outlined in the book. Many diverse things, agriculture, banking, finance, everything was education. All of those things were outlined because it's just.
So it's not just one little thing. So let's go to another, in that same chapter, let's take another example of how Nigeria teaches and can lead the world and teach the world. It's leading the world already. Has led the world.
The very, very recent example, of course, is that of Ebola that happened very recently in Nigeria. That was as early as 2014 when Ebola broke out. And Ebola broke out. In fact, when the United States was able to record, I think maybe 2 or 3 cases, and it set the entire country off balance.
Yeah, but those few cases, it took them 3 to 5 years
for them to be able to deal with it.
And we had tens of cases.
Yes.
And we were able to deal with it faster than the United States of America with all their budget for medicine. We don't even have any budget for medicine as such. Our budget for medicine is nothing. Compared to the United States. The amount of doctors that are in the United States, we're just a fraction of that. But we were able to tackle the question before any country in the world, not just United States.
So we were able to tackle from the first diagnosis. The government was able to go all out to be able to curtail all of these problems. So within months, we had been able to actually curtail one of the deadliest diseases in the world.
Outbreak of bacteria.
And it was so impressive that even the World Health Organization had to come out. I'm also looking for the statement quotation
from the World Health Organization.
From the World Health Organization that said that they also need to come learn. It was Margaret Chan who said that if a country like Nigeria, hampered by serious security problems, can do this, any country in the world experiencing imported case of Ebola can hold onward transmission, just a handful of cases. She declared that noted that even the United States had no Ebola control, whereas Nigeria already had
put it in place.
Had already put Ebola control in place. This
Ahead
is a
of
direct
the
quotation.
whole world.
Ahead of so the whole world was actually coming to learn from Nigeria.
How we were able to cope with it.
Cope with infectious disease.
So look at the potential in a country that everything is supposed to have fallen apart.
Yes. So even the United Nations Council, several government organizations, they all had to come
United Nations too.
They all had to come out to praise Nigeria for such a rapid response when it came to that disease, to control of that disease. So that was a major way again by which, of course, Nigeria led the world when it came to the issue of controlling and curtailing Ebola in 2014.
And it has not all.
Yes.
Even in this chapter alone.
Of course, that is not all. Another example in this chapter, it's just chapter 1 alone. This is just still chapter 1.
Introduction
in chapter 1 is the fact that many people in the world right now do not know that Nigeria is actually the world, what is known as the world police. Basically, we have more men, and I'm going to take another quotation again from the book, because this is actually from the CIA. This is from the World Facts book and from the CIA.
That's American Secret Intelligence.
Yes, that they do not know that so far in the world, in either it is in ECOWAS or in Africa Union missions or support missions to Mali, Nigeria provided more military people, more military men to all of this. Nigeria provided over 70% of ECOMOG military alone. 70% alone came from Nigeria of ECOMOG military and civilian personnel. In 2003, we deployed 1,500 troops to ECOWAS missions. America only has 74 men of the armed forces, whereas in Nigeria has 1,667 men of the military.
Yep.
So a case where Nigeria is giving 1,667 to for peacekeeping missions in the world, and America has only 74 of the military. And this is directly from the World Fact book and from CIA themselves.
United States Intelligence.
So that also shows a major
potential.
The potential.
If we put leadership in place, if we put
structure,
structure in place, systems in place, how much more can we do better?
Just going to be too phenomenal. It's just going to be too outstanding.
Now that's talking about what we're doing in the present.
Yes.
But in chapter 2, when you get there, you see Nigerians teaching the world.
Absolutely.
So, but this is talking about Nigerian prodigies.
Yes.
And this is talking about the future. The young Nigerians that are making waves all over the world.
Yes.
Now I'm sure most Nigerians have never heard of names like Aaron Eke,
yes,
or Victor Agbafe, or Augusta Uwanamanzo Una, Ifeoma White, Enatarari Kalango, and many Nigerians have never heard of this. What brings these people? What unites them? Then Leah Umana, Ilesami Adedshida, Kunle Olukoto, Toyin Omoyeni, Peter Eke, Isidore Okwewu, Bolaji Aluko, Dr. Peters, Abba Gubel, Godwin Shuku, Professor Raymond Akule, Shinedu Osuji, Shuku Nwakushe, George Ude, all these people that we're seeing here, what's happening? Who are these people that Nigerians have never even heard about before?
These are all Nigerians that are leading in the world universities around the world. These are the people that are basically the backbone of some of the educational institutions around the world. Like, for example, an example is Aaron Eke, who in fact, in the same year, for 3 consecutive years or 4 consecutive years, we had Nigerians that were admitted into all the 8 Ivy League schools at the same time. So even the American students, the American children,
most of
American
them
kids, they are not even doing that. But for several years consecutively, Nigerian young children
are the leading top admission. Yeah.
And the interesting thing is they were 14, 15, 16-year-old children who were probably born in Nigeria and raised in the United States or probably given birth to the United States, but they were admitted into all the leading universities in the United States.
The Ivy Leagues.
The Ivy League all at once. And this did not just happen, Nigerians did not just demonstrate that in the United States for Ivy League schools. Like, for example, Kalango went to the United Kingdom. She's a young girl of about 16, 15 years. And she also demonstrated that she got the highest score in Cambridge exams. So, and Nigerians are demonstrating all of this in all over the world. Either it is in Japan, either it is in Russia, in Ukraine. For example, in Russia, we had the case of a young man who got 5.0 GP, and that had never been done ever in the history of the university, where he got a perfect score all through his stay in Russia.
Not -1.
Not -1. He didn't even get like a draw. And that was in a foreign country, not in his own country. So he was able to get a perfect CGP that, in fact, the Russian government sent representatives to go back with him to Nigeria to give an award in Nigeria to the young man. That had never been done before in the history of that university. And he's a Nigerian too. That's it. So we had lots of such examples of young people around the world who are doing exceptionally well, who are blazing the trail in whatever sector, in every sector.
Yeah, you know, what are the things we could identify and emphasize in these names? Because these are very many names.
Yes. Okay, I would just probably just give some other examples apart from students. Apart from students, apart from, for example, we have the example of the man who makes the drones for the United States Army. Is actually Nigerian, and people don't know
drones. Those drones that they use to kill terrorists all over the world, and they use to
gather information and all that. His name is Dr. Osatonwe Osenwenge. People do not know that he's a Nigerian. He's actually the one making the drones.
Osenwenge. Yeah,
Osato.
that is Edo.
Edo, yes, yeah. It's Edo. And he's also a founder of a US-based university. He created his own university.
Wow. In
the United States.
Amazing.
And he has like about 6 or 7 masters, and the man is not stopping because he keeps acquiring more, studying more. He wants to get. In fact, he's one of the people who's regarded as the most learned in the world because he keeps getting. He has currently about 6 or 7 masters already, and he's the one designing. He's actually the designer for the United States Army, the drones for the United States Army. So we have example. Another man is the man called Bennett Omalu. Okay. Bennett Omalu is the one that he discovered a rare disease in the United States called chronic traumatic encephalopathy, which is usually like it's absolutely rare. The disease had always been there, but people didn't discover it in the American football players. So it was a Nigerian from Enugu State, Bennett Omalu, who was able to discover for the first time in the history of America that there's a disease called chronic traumatic encephalopathy.
In sportsmen.
In sportsmen in the United States. In fact, the whole film was made in his honor, just to be able to appreciate him for such an immense contribution. So there are just lots and lots of them. We had Brigadier General Ovemo Ovaji. He actually made a special invention, actually, auto-transfusion invention. Usually the auto-transfusion invention, like we had a lot of kits and equipment that are really, really expensive. But this man was able to make an invention that is just going to cost $120. Just $120 alone. Something that before that time had always cost minimum of about $20,000 thereabouts.
Wow.
About $20,000 just for, and it was going to take a long time, at least 24 hours. But with his project, he was able to design what we cost for auto transfusion. So it was just going to cost $120, and just within 5 minutes,
wow,
the auto transfusion
instead of 24 hours.
Instead of 20, and this is in Nigeria. In fact, it's not so much of a spectator. It's just a military man. It's just a soldier who just decided to take an interest in invention, and he decided to do that. So many of them. We had, of course, the case of Jelania Aliu, the man who designed auto cars. Yes, for cars for Ford and many of these leading
Chrysler
car companies in the world, Chevy and all of that. He's a Nigerian too. He graduated from Kaduna. He's a northern young man who just got a scholarship to study abroad and he designed these exceptional things. So a lot of them, wherever we had the likes of Rotimi Badero, there's a man who I'm trying to get his name, who also graduated from Obafemi Awolowo University. And basically this man, what his own contribution, medical doctor, a baby had a special problem while in the mother's womb. And basically what this normally nobody attempts such a thing. Until a baby is born, nobody does surgery on the baby until they are even until after certain months before we can perform certain procedures on them. For the first time, a Nigerian doctor took the baby out of the mother's womb, did surgical operation on the baby, and returned the baby back to the mother's womb to complete the term. And the baby was born normal and perfectly, and he's a Nigerian too.
And some people might be saying, but how, what does this mean? These people are not living in Nigeria anyway. They are living outside. And, does that make Nigeria great? Oh, yeah, because in the book, there is a strategy on how we could make all those, galvanize all the resources and the wisdom and the minds and the intellectual capacity of these individuals, and how even these individuals could be invited back, and we could galvanize them and collate their resources and their efforts and their wisdom and their technology to make Nigeria the greatest.
Yes. And you, for every name that was profiled or certain thing was mentioned about them, you not only just gave the strategy of how the contributions these people can make to the Nigerian society, but also how we can produce many more of such people.
Many more of such people, right?
In the country. Because there's no way that we just have one of Osato, one of Arodeke.
And that is the strategy.
And that is the strategy.
We can produce thousands of people.
So we just keep producing thousands and thousands of such people from every sector.
So this book is talking about the system in Nigeria, the structure that we can put in place to duplicate and to multiply each of these people. So I'm not just talking about these people, but I'm talking about Nigeria setting up a system of discovering these people in their thousands and then setting them loose. Just like these people have been given opportunity to discover themselves. Just now, these people discover themselves accidentally, you could say.
Yes.
But we are talking about setting up a system whereby we will be discovering people like this en masse. And then we will be setting them in places, giving them opportunities to be able to maximize their potentials. And that way, we are producing each one of the people who I've mentioned here in the thousands at the same time. And that is the strategy of one of the strategies of making Nigeria the greatest country in the world. But that's just chapter 2.
Yeah, that's just chapter 5.
We have not even mentioned the name of many of those people.
So many of these people we have not even mentioned, like the likes of Rotimi Badero, the only heart and kidney specialist, kidney and heart specialist in the world is a Nigerian. That is the only one person.
He's also a graduate of Ife.
Yes, he's also a graduate of Ife before he left for the United States. These were people who just accidentally, he studied at Mary's private school in Lagos and Federal Government College, and just accidentally discovered themselves.
It was not by a government program that was intentional at discovering this kind of people.
No.
But what we are proposing in this book is that we could have a government program of discovering this kind of people and of multiplying them.
Yes.
We could even have a program whereby through these same people, they will be tasked to reproduce after themselves.
Yes, which is very, very possible. That is the whole idea of the book, to be able to create systems in which we can now, instead of having just one of Dangote, of having one of the Adelaja and all of them, and Philip Meguale and all of that, all of them, we can have several thousands and thousands of them. Because just like you said at the introduction of the book, that every time you looked at yourself, you saw a son of Adelaja,
in all the villagers,
all of them, in all of those
street children
who otherwise will look down on as children that normally we would walk past by and we wouldn't say anything, but that with systematic programs in each of these children, and the many of the Adelajas, and the many of the Osatos, and the many of the Arodekes, in every one of these children.
Yes.
Because it's just like Nigeria is specially gifted with that pool of people, of individuals. Even when Bill Gates came to Nigeria the other time, one of the things he had to say is the fact that Nigeria was a special class of people. We're very interesting people.
Well, Mark Zuckerberg also came to invest in Nigeria and he said something like that when he discovered young people.
Yes, who are into programming and they are making, they are doing coding programs in Lagos.
Yes.
And it's just exceptional the kinds of mind that Nigerians have. And that is why I say that for no reason in the world will I ever want to exchange my passport with another country's passport, because it's actually...
And these things we are talking about are just things that randomly happened.
Yes.
But when we put in place these kind of things we are talking about,
yes,
it's not just by accident anymore.
So we will be able to
guarantee, because life is predictable.
Yes.
In a predictable way, we'll be able to constantly generate greatest Nigerians in every sphere of life.
Yes. You ended chapter 2 basically on that note by saying that everyone needs that opportunity. You remembered your childhood, how it was just a little stroke of opportunity that happened and that has produced the Sunday Adelaja that the world knows today.
But that Sunday Adelaja could have been selling ogi and pap and in the village and doing farming.
Yes.
And I would have been doing that. Nobody will even know that kind of potential to lead the world is in that village.
Yes.
And how many people, how many such villages all over?
That we have in Nigeria.
And how many such Sunday Adelajas, that children that are just farming and selling stuff, that would have been like me, would have just been like me, and would have become me.
And all they are just begging for is just
an opportunity. Yeah.
So once we give such opportunity to each, and all of these children, like you also emphasized in the book, all of the Arodekes and some of these exceptional young Nigerians that the world has not come to know, and there are so many of them across the world. Reading the book, I was just so amazed at how intelligent Nigerians are all over the world. Like for example, in Japan, we had the case of a young man who solved a 150-year-old mathematics for the university.
That could not have, been solved.
And it's just a Nigerian who just studied
all professors, all academicians have not been able to do it. All over the world.
All over the world. Japanese professors, all of them were not. A PhD student, Nigerian, in Japan, was able to solve that math problem. So you gave the fact that the environment was able to just give them a little boost, to give them a little opportunity, that rather than for us to have such environments in the United States, in Japan and all that, we can actually cultivate that environment, that system in Nigeria that will be producing massively each of these people.
Yeah. And maybe you could tell them what happened in Harvard with Delia Umana.
Yes.
After how many years of I think it's how many years that no woman, no female has been able to lead.
Yes. So Delia Umana is a very, very interesting
law school.
It's a law school. It's a very, very interesting story, because she a clinical professor of law at Harvard Law School. And the truth of the matter was that in the history of Harvard itself, there had not been...
Is it 300 years? I think it's 300 years,
of Harvard Law School. Yeah. There has not been any lady that has led what is called the... she was appointed...
Like the editor of the...
Yes. So she was appointed the editor of the journal, of there is this special journal produced by the school. And so many things about her story in the book. She was a trial attorney at one point in the university. She became a public defender, board member, and author of The Thinking Neighborhood. So she was able to become one of the exceptional Nigerians that became an editor of the
Harvard Law School.
Harvard Law School journal. Yes. And which is a very reputable journal, because I read that journal is one of the...
that is what made Obama he was an editor of it as well.
Yes, and that is the law firms...
But only men have been throughout history. The first woman is a Nigerian.
Is a Nigerian, and her name is Delia Umana.
Yeah.
She very, very exceptional. And a lot of other examples like that. We had the story of Philippe Megueli.
What about the uncommon physicist? Ilesome Adeshida from Ondo State.
Yes.
Yeah, who,
Her own field is in nanotechnology. Nanotechnology. She's been able to do like a lot of exceptional work when it comes to in the field of nanotechnology, a lecturer at the University of Illinois. And she's also a fellow of several bodies, and so many things. Basically, I'll
same with Kunle or
Olu Cotton.
Right.
Yes.
We have so many exceptional stories.
Kunle Olu Cotton actually developed his what is called a microprocessor technology. I called it Afara. He actually used the Yoruba name.
What is the meaning of Afara?
Afara is a bridge in Yoruba language.
Okay.
So it's a bridge. So, and the design of this processor is such that it can connect multiple processors together.
That's why it's called bridge web systems.
Exactly. So, and he used the Yoruba name called Afara. So every time the white and the Americans have to pronounce that invention, they have to use the word Afara, which is the Yoruba word. So, a lot of them like that. Just every one of them, very exceptional people.
So somebody will say, but these are all in diaspora. Yeah, but that's exactly what we are talking about. That in this book, you'll be able to see the way, clearly you will see the way this same result that our Nigerians in diaspora are producing. You will see clearly the way, you know, and the system we are advocating that will make us as Nigeria to be able to produce same kind of result back at home with our own people, but in a larger, much larger scale.
Yes. So we can actually consciously groom each of these people. We can grow them rather than just accidentally discovering them around the world. Even just by accidentally discovering them, each of them is
already exceptional.
They are very, very exceptional in their field. The man I was trying to remember the other time is called Dr. What's his name now? I just saw his name and I missed it. So many examples, so many stories. I also love the part where you said that how Nigeria can have the world's best products.
Yes. So, let's talk about that one.
So basically, you challenged a lot of Nigerians in that place to be able to also to serve as a cover for each of the children that are roaming around the streets.
Yeah.
Each of the children, every family can be a cover for at least one child, to not just see the children as street children, but to be able to see the genius and the potential in each of these children. So you said by the time we are able to provide cover for as many children as possible, we're able to send a child to school. We never can estimate what the contribution of that child will be to the world. So, and of course, you challenge the fact that many people have been exceptional in the world. They weren't even raised by their own family.
Yeah, because if a Nigerian could do the doll, like the Barbie,
yes,
Barbie doll,
yes,
and is now outselling Barbie in Africa.
Yes,
we can also produce competitive products like that.
Yes,
that will be able to run out all the multinational companies from town.
Yes,
or like that guy who is doing the iPad analogy
yes,
of the device. What do you call it? Not laptop. It's like a device or what smartphone.
Okay.
That he's producing his smartphone, and his smartphone is competing with iPad and Apple in Nigeria, and he's doing an alternative one, which is cheaper, and is producing them locally. So all these kind of things are showing you that not just a Nigeria outside now, but these are Nigerians inside.
Inside, yes.
And it's showing us the great future that is awaiting the country.
Yes.
Especially if we intentionally pursue it.
Yeah. Also talking about how Nigeria can have the best product, you gave the example, like, for example, we had Facebook, Goldman Sachs, Oracle, Starbucks, the likes of eBay and all of that. They all came from just a small group of people, just the Jewish people that are not even up to half the population of Lagos alone. That even all of these exceptional companies that we have today, Bloomberg, Dell, Microsoft, Google, all Jewish, and CK, DreamWorks, all of that can come out from just within Lagos. Lagos alone is able to produce all of this, and that is very, very, very possible because you gave the roadmap in the book too.
Yeah, and that is what it's all about. We can form a value system in our people and generically give birth to creative people.
And to encourage the creativity that people carry. That is
the book we are talking about is this: how to make Nigeria the greatest country in the world. How to make Nigeria the greatest country in the world. It's not a fallacy, and we are proving it. Why are we using all these examples that we're using? Just to prove that Nigerians have done it, they are doing it, and with a little bit of few things to put right, we'll be able to do it on a greater scale, making this to become the norm rather than the exception.
Absolutely.
Okay, so if you go to chapter 3, we talk about the greatness of America.
Yes.
But if we're talking about rivaling America,
yes,
or becoming the greatest country like America, or even overtaking America, it's scary, isn't it? What is America? And who is America in achievements?
America has been able to do a lot. America has, of course, the population itself sometimes could be scary.
No, but we are going to overtake them by the year 2050.
Yes. Already that we are going to overtake America even by population. So they have Coca-Cola, they have some of like the world's leading companies, and looking at that,
multinational
companies. They have
billionaires
and all of this.
Industrial complex, military industrial complex.
Yes, they have all kinds of technology that they've been able to achieve. But then, the most educated group of people, even within
America itself, Nigerians are overtaking them in their own country.
Nigerians are more educated than Americans in their own country.
Even though our percentage there is less than 1% of their whole population,
yes,
but that few percentage of Nigerians are outdoing all the large percentage of Americans,
even in their own homeland, in their own country. Yes. So, which is very, very
is a pointer to the fact that, well, what about if we have as many Nigerians there?
Yes.
What about if we create the same opportunity in Nigeria,
yes,
like they have created for their own people?
Yes.
So what would then be happening to Nigerians and to the world?
Absolutely. To corroborate that fact is this paragraph that says, what does it imply that Nigerians are more educated than Americans in their own home soil? It says if Nigerians can be the best on foreign soil, if Nigeria can make this bold statement in foreign America, then there's nothing stopping her from becoming the greatest country in the world.
Beautiful.
Nothing.
So yeah, because there are statistics. Some of the things that you see here, they are not just some pronouncements.
Yes.
These are statistics that are confirmed by Americans themselves, and by everybody knows these things. These things are out there. They are researched and they are known.
Yeah. That chapter also contained a very funny story of 3 Nigerians
from the same family.
Seditola and Femi, who both of them graduated from same university in America, and they graduated top of the university. Same family, same siblings.
In a university where they have thousands of people.
PhD graduates, and they were selected as the best, and the 3 of them were Nigerians.
From the same family. Beating thousands of other Americans and people from all other countries.
Yes, even, for example, also in this university, Howard University in the United States, in 2016, 50% of the PhD graduating class in 2016, 50%, exactly half of the graduating class were all Nigerians in the United States. Howard University 2016 graduating class.
Yeah,
Howard University. Yeah. So they were the best
graduating
students. Then in that chapter you saw,
and they have people from countries like over 100 countries in that university.
Wow. And
50% of all the students, not just beating Americans, but beating the rest of the world.
In their own homeland, in their own.
Not just 10%. 50%.
50%.
So for the rest of the world, all the 200 countries that are left,
they had to share the remaining 50.
About the 50%.
50%.
And the whole 50% was taken by Nigerians.
By Nigerians. Exactly 50% of the graduating class were from Nigeria. Then you supported that chapter, making Nigeria the greatest country in the world. This for me is very, very, because we are not even just talking about things that are been or things that will be. We're even talking about things
Things
that
that are
currently
going on right
are,
now.
That currently are, because Nigerians don't know that even when it comes to languages, and this of course is also being discussed in the next book, celebrating
diversity.
the diversity of Nigeria. That currently Nigeria has 521 languages. And United States, with all the immigrants, with everyone coming in, has less than 300 languages altogether, with all the population of people. And we don't even have a lot.
We don't even bring in too much from outside.
Outside, just within us alone.
alone.
Indigenous languages are 521 languages alone.
Much more diversity than the
United States. When it comes to language, and you gave the blueprint in this book, how we can even use languages to make Nigeria the greatest country on earth. That we can have language universities, we can have language technologies, the world can come to learn language, the culture of language, the origin of languages, everything about language. Nigeria can become the language center of the world.
Diversification of
language. When it comes to tribes, Nigeria has over 500 different tribes in the world, which is more than that of America also. That is undisputable. So many things.
And in America, they are coming from all over the world.
Yes. You gave so much, you gave biodiversity with birds that are found in Nigeria.
Yeah.
That's
natural endowment that God has given to Nigeria.
You gave the example, like for example, I see the example of the Plateau Indigo Belt, which is is only found in Nigeria. Anambra Wax Bill, which is only found just in Nigeria. 4,715 different species of birds that are only in Nigeria alone. Nowhere else around the world.
God is trying to make a statement.
God is making a statement. And very funny is the fact that even the twins capital of the world, Igbora,
is also there.
Is also in Nigeria, where in every family you find a twin. Twins.
God is making a statement.
God
is making a statement to us.
And that also confirms the fact that, like for example, if people are interested in fertility research, they want to know about,
it could become the fertility center of the world. And the IVF and all the other technologies could be connected to that.
To that place.
And then the food is connected to the food.
It's connected to the food. It's connected to the environment. The lifestyle of the people.
Yes. So we could use that to facilitate and maximize.
Yes, and do a lot of research when it comes to fertility. You give all of that blueprint in the book, how that place that is so massive. That is a lot of potential.
Yeah, it could become a research center.
Yes.
For reproductive
research.
Yes.
And of course, so many things, just so many. One of my favorites in the book is the Sumberedo wall.
Queen Sheba.
Yeah, Sheba, the burial place of Queen Sheba, which is just recently discovered. And I'm wondering how in the world did Pastor Sunday discover that? Because I'd never ever heard about it.
They said it was more complexly constructed than
the Pyramid of Egypt.
Yeah.
And Pyramid of Egypt is known as one of the...
And it's even superior to the stones of that are in England. What they call those stones? The Stone Age stones in Great Britain. Yeah.
And these things, they are facts. They are not just...
They are there. It has become a UNESCO or UN site.
Heritage center.
Yeah, heritage center. Yeah.
And if the Pyramid of Egypt is one of the Asian wonders of the world, that which is greater than the Asian wonder of the world.
Because they said this amount of sound and sand and work that is done there is more complex than
that of the pyramid.
Yes.
Very, very, very exceptional. All of that in Nigeria. Nigerians don't have a bit of a clue of all of this information. They do not. A lot of Nigerians don't know about Igbora or Eredo or all of this biodiversity, language diversity that we're talking about.
Yep.
So that chapter 3 was you clearly showed it by chapter 3.
Chapter 3 is explosive.
Every Nigerian will be very confident, will know that no, it is for definitely by facts and statistics. Nigeria has so many areas, even though we are looking at...
We don't have anything to regret about at all.
At all. About Nigeria being greater than America.
The raw materials are here. The resources, the potential. Okay, in chapter 4, we're now talking about significant contributions of Nigerians to the world. So how has Nigeria blessed the world?
So many.
You started with Nigeria's golden child, yeah.
Yeah, Nigerian golden child is Philip Emeagwali, the man who invented the supercomputer, which is known as the fastest computer in the world. Brought thousands of microprocessors together to be able to interpret computer language, to be able to process work out calculations within nanoseconds. And of course, Philip Emeagwali has been able to celebrate has been able to bring Nigeria to the world in a way that many Nigerians have not been able to. Because he's known as the golden child because he's been able to do exceptionally what many Nigerians have not been able to do, or what I mean,
the whole world has not been able to do.
The whole world has not been able to do. So every time we mention the fastest computer, he's also at the point known as the father of the internet, as he gave constructive designs towards the invention of the internet, how the internet came to be. So that was Dr. Philip Emeagwali in chapter 4. And also I earlier gave the example of Dr. Olutoye in the first man or the first doctor to birth a baby twice in the world. That is in Nigeria. Then, of course, Emema Umana, the first Black Harvard Law Review female president, the first in the world, is in Nigeria. Then other examples of Nigerians who invented devices that the entire African continent, like for example, trapping. It was a Nigerian that first designed a device that could trap the thunderclaps, the lightning, that converted lightning into electricity. That was also a Nigerian that gave that device. Another Nigerian gave the device that could basically, when playing football, how football could generate electricity. In fact, she's a lady by name Jessica Matthews. She was the first person in the history of the world who invented electricity from football. So while people are playing football at the same time, they can also generate electricity at the same time. And also in chapter 4, we had the story of the Professor Nanji, who's been able to do exceptionally well. This man is based in the United States. Has been able to do exceptionally well when it comes to the area of electricity generation and all of that. And it's quite interesting because the question a lot of Nigerians will ask is, we have a lot of Nigerians, for example, 3 examples now that you gave in that chapter in regards to electricity. Yeah. One who invented electricity from lightning, another who invented electricity from football, and of course Professor Nanji, who is like a specialist when it comes to electricity generation and things like that. And then people will ask why Nigeria still does not have electricity at the moment, because these problems, they are just structural problems.
Yeah.
It's just
political.
It's political. It's just the system at the moment. When Nigerians are ready, again and again in the book you said that when Nigerians are ready to lead the world, to overtake the world, they are going to do it in a swift, and it's not going to be too difficult to do in making Nigeria the greatest country in the world. So that was about chapter 4, the different contributions that Nigerians have been able to make, to give to the world. Of course, my favorite in that chapter will be the story of Dr. Olutoye, the man who graduated from Obafemi Awolowo University, and he was able to go to the United States, make a lot of landmark surgery, landmark research and all that. His wife is also an anesthesiologist, and they both work in the United States. And for the first time, he was the first person to birth a baby twice in the history of the world.
Yeah. What tell them more about that man.
That man. So Dr. Olutoye is a medical surgeon. He's a medical surgeon, and he, like I said before, he was the first person to be able to born a baby twice in the United States. There was a woman called Mrs. Boma who had a problem, actually a tumor. The baby had a tumor, so the baby had what was called sacrococcygeal teratoma. That was a baby a tumor that was growing at the baby's back. So that was going to be growing. The tumor was going to be growing because that was a very, very rare condition, medical condition. It actually happens just about one baby in about 70,000 live births. So it was very rare. People they were not used to it. it wasn't something that many surgeons would want to operate on at all. But this man was able to take on the challenge to say he could surgically operate on that baby. So the woman, Mrs. Boma, who had the baby, was initially skeptical about it, but she decided that okay, it's worth a try because the baby was not going to survive anyway if it continued like that in the womb. So at the end of the day, the surgery was actually very successful because Dr. Olutoye Oluyinka was able to bring the baby out at 23 weeks, operate on the baby, put the baby back to deliver at 38 weeks. And interestingly, the government of Nigeria has also been able to appreciate Dr. Olutoye. They've been able to give him an award, bring him back to honor. But we said that it's not just enough to recognize. Recognition alone is not enough because there's a lot of the Olutoyes in Nigeria that can be systematically developed, and there's a lot of such landmark things that can happen either within the country or even by Nigerians outside of the country. So that was the story of the Olutoye.
And how much can we produce more of those kind of people? What are we suggesting in the book?
What we're suggesting in the book is the fact that first, Dr. Olutoye is just another Nigerian that's making extraordinary feats. It's not like an exceptional, he himself said it, that it's not like he's an exceptional Nigerian.
Okay, just like I said.
Just like you said. So he himself said it, that it's not like he's an exception. He said, Nigerians are talented people. If they decide to apply themselves, they can achieve much. When they have access to resources and infrastructure, they can attain even greater heights. That was
than himself.
Than himself.
You see?
So that was there is direct quotation in the book that they can achieve far greater than he has been able to achieve. So we are saying that Dr. Olutoye is not exceptional Nigerian just because he was exposed to the right environment and opportunity, and that means that in every Dr. Olutoye, in every Nigerian doctor, is actually a Dr. Olutoye when given the right opportunity and training, and they are backed up, they are given the right support. Excellent.
But we still have even more formidable examples when we keep on going on in this book.
Yes. So you ended up on Dr. Olutoye by saying Nigeria is not in any way poor. He said it is just poorly being managed. Our greatest wealth is in our people. This is why we can become the greatest and the wealthiest nation on earth. Yeah. Because what Nigerians have been able to achieve has not been achieved by any race or any class of people on earth.
And individually, these people have been able to achieve what no human being has been able to achieve.
Absolutely.
But collectively, our whole idea is that we can bring all these forces together.
Yes. And
build a university around each one of them.
Each one of them is a university.
On its own. Then, arrange that to be done in Nigeria and to be reproducing everything they have been able to reproduce.
Yes.
And set up a whole system, a whole factory, manufacturing themselves, reproducing themselves in Nigeria.
Yes.
That's the major
You gave the challenge in a very multi-directional way. You gave the challenge to the individuals, to the government, to people reading the book themselves.
Yeah.
That the bottom line of everything
is... Even you being opportune to read the book, you could already benefit.
Exactly.
And be already part of making Nigeria
the greatest country in the world. And everyone, like, for example, we're talking about, let's say, for example, a university based on the concept of this Dr. Olutoye is the fact that any reader that is reading the book can be able to take that concept alone and generate people in that form, in that manner. So somebody can champion that idea, can be able to take up the idea and say, I'm going to generate people in this line, in this fashion of individuals, and that will not be impossible.
Excellent, excellent.
So that was for chapter 4.
Right. Now we can go to chapter 5.
Yes. So for chapter 5 is very, it just keeps getting better and better in the book. In chapter 5, we have steps to transforming Nigeria. And one of the things we come about, of course, we gave the example of Adelaja.
The Nigerian wonder.
The Nigerian wonder. The man who builds the second largest or manages the second largest airport
in the world.
In the world.
In the UK.
In the UK.
That is Gatwick.
Yes, Gatwick Airport. And you also gave a system, a very peculiar system about that story. The fact that we cannot have Gatwick as it is, Maurice Salam Mohammed Airport as it is in Lagos.
All those things could be reproduced.
They have to be reproduced. We have to produce like thousands and thousands of Gatwick in Nigeria. It's possible. In Nigeria is doing it anyways. In Nigeria is
managing it, running it, and his company is financing it.
Wow. And interestingly, even when Donald Trump came on board, this same man was invited to
to be an advisor, in his cabinet.
So there's no excuse in the world why we have a Nigerian running such companies.
And Nigerian government is not inviting him to be an advisor.
No, Nigerians don't even appreciate. They don't
even know all these people. Maybe if they know them, they are not.
I listened to the review, and the person said that this book has to be given to every senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Every politician has to be able to read the book, to be able to digest and understand.
And even for them to understand Nigeria in a different way. For them to be able to see a different Nigeria.
To see the vision, to see Nigeria as the greatest country. It will be a privilege for them anyways to be a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, which is the greatest country.
And instead of them just living their own lives, they could. But before this man,
yes,
besides his story, you were saying something about that chapter.
Yes. So about the steps to make it to transform Nigeria. So Biogoles is you said in that chapter again and again that man is a gold mine.
Yeah.
So you said ordinarily one would have expected that the federal government of Nigeria would have done all within our power
to bring it
back to Nigeria. That is like it should be an urgent.
It should head up our aviation
industry and turn
the airport construction. But what about the man that constructs the 500 million Iraqi railway system?
Yes, the man that
Jude.
Yes, Jude
Igwemeze
is a very interesting guy based in Canada that was able to. He actually brought up the concept, and he told the Iraqi government that you don't even need to give me the money. I have a special concept by which I want to develop this railway system in the country, and by the time I'm done with of course, within a time frame when he's going to be able to generate his money back and make profit and all of that. But he gave them the design, he gave them the idea, and the Iraqi government bought into it. So they had...
No, it was actually a tender, international competition. A competition that he won.
To be able to...
He won from Americans, from all other people from all over the world. He had the best concept.
So they actually gave him that bid to be able to develop the Iraqi railway systems, So, which is very, very, very interesting.
And which is it will only make sense to say, if somebody could be developing a whole railway system for another country, Iraq, what is Nigeria doing? We don't even have any railway system. And that guy is a Nigerian, and I'm sure he's also, he will have some passion about Nigeria. So, but if we will not notice him, and if we will not call him, and to come and set up the same thing in Nigeria, it's just like me. Nobody is inviting me. Nobody is talking to me about anything.
Yes.
So also are these guys.
Wow. So there's no point where in Nigeria went to build the Iraqi railway system, and Nigeria itself does not have a functional railway in operation. It doesn't show seriousness so much on the part of...
And that's why people like me, that's why I need to go to Nigeria. And before I go, and on my way to Nigeria, I'm going to contact all these people. And we're going to form a consortium of think tank organization that you are going to gather, the best brain, all these people we're talking about here. And we're going to, I'm going to appeal to them for them to join and form a team of rebuilding Nigeria. And the project of rebuilding Nigeria that, I don't know if you saw it at the HMT this year.
I did, yes.
Okay, so that we'll be able to reproduce and we'll be able to, be a team with the best minds coming in with their own contribution.
You put, after the Dr. Jude story, because he also made the same claim that people are not interested in inviting him to Nigeria. So he said that experts of nation building have described Nigeria as one nation who is not ready to grow, but can grow and become a world-leading power within the shortest time possible, whenever she's ready. So it's just like for Nigeria to be ready to take off, and immediately Nigeria takes off, Nigeria is going to lead the rest of it. Nigeria will actually become the greatest country in the world sooner than later.
Yep. So, then after him, we spoke about the story of the lady in Spain. that wanted to be the president of the nation.
Country. A Nigerian lady went into Spain and contested for the presidential election in the country, which is very, very remarkable. A woman. And very interesting because she was like a pace setter in the country, because now, just recently, we had a Nigeria who actually became a senator in Spain. Just
Spain or Italy? Italy.
It was in Italy, who actually became a senator in Italy.
The first
black person in Italy. So Ellie Mokoro was able to set the pace in Spain. She went to Spain and contested. She started a party. She brought people together, galvanized them, and they were able to contest as a major opposition party in Spain. Though she lost the election, but it was a major statement that was made for Nigeria. So that was exceptional, very, very exceptional.
Yeah, and then the doll Barbie revolution.
Yes. So that is Taufik Okoya, yes.
Yeah.
Taufik Okoya made a special kind of doll because according to him, he discovered that his daughter had only white dolls to play with. Yes. So he decided that, look, I can design my own doll, my own kind of doll. He was able in the process to provide jobs for a lot of people because he was designing black dolls and they were being made by local people. They were able to design all of those dolls, and the interesting thing was that the doll that was made by Nigerian Taufik Okoya in Lagos was actually outselling the Barbie.
That is made in America.
In America, that is known all over the world. A Nigerian doll was actually outselling it, and that was quite phenomenal. And the way that he did that was very, very dramatic because it just took over that business within a little time, within the shortest possible time. So that is very, very exceptional.
And if that kind of guy gets the support of the federal government, like I said, yes. I could give, I would, if I were in the government, or I was supposed to advocate for the government should get behind someone like that. Just like Obasanjo did to Dangote.
Yes.
It got some billions behind him,
yes.
and Dangote performed and yes. became an international company.
Yes.
So also we should do. If he's already without any government support, it's already outselling Barbie.
Yes,
why don't we put some billions under him and make him to be a world giant in yes. production of dolls?
And there's no doubt that the man is going to be exceptional because even without any government support, he was able to do something that that was able to take over, or that outran,
overtake,
or that overtook like an American company. So what is going to happen if the government was able to give him support, if the government gave him backing? This man is going to be, I even see such a man opening up other sectors, opening up other ideas, other inventions, other ideas.
Yeah, and that's why I say the government, for me, it's easy to do. Once we have people like this, for me, I'm looking at them not just as some successful individuals. I'm looking at them as models. So, and the models and prototypes must be duplicated.
Yes.
So, that is the way I'm seeing someone like that. And all these people, that's why I'm very confident that once we're able to duplicate and multiply,
yes.
Into cereals and begin to produce serially Nigerians thousands like this, thousands of them like this, that is the key to rule the world.
You said that Taufik's idea is unique in the sense that children will always be born. He will always have a large potential market for his product. So it's not something, an idea that is going to go off soon. So taking Taufik's case as an example, what do Nigerian young people mean when they say there are no jobs or that Nigeria is barren? What exactly do they need when they are trying to smuggle their way out of Nigeria? Many of our graduates are not aware that the best place for them to prosper
is Nigeria.
Nigeria.
Yeah. And that's why, those are the challenges before us. But, at least when we already set the goal, we know the way to approach the challenge, and things are going to be easier.
Yes.
And I'm doing my part by coming up with all these ideas and giving suggestions to the government on how to, deal with and how to build the greatest country in the world, using the greatest raw material and resources that Nigeria has got, which is human resources, yes. Okay.
So that is very exceptional. That chapter ended by saying that the America is the world sunset and Nigeria is the rising sun.
Rising sun of the world, yeah.
And many people do not know that because it's very subtle and very.
Soon they are going to count with that.
Yes, a lot of people have not realized it. But very soon Nigeria will be a great force to reckon with. By the time all of these young people who are breathing up at the same time, mature, at the same time, in the same generation, then there's no doubt about it that Nigeria is going to be the greatest country on earth.
Yep. So now we are into chapter 6.
Yes.
This is where we talk about a good friend of mine.
Yes.
The smartest family in the world.
Yes.
You want to tell us about this?
Very exceptional. The Nigerians are not just doing things by individuals. They are actually also coming out as a family to say that we are the best. When it comes to even being a family unit, Nigerians are doing exceptionally well in the world. So the first example, like you said, is the example of Professor Mafidon.
Yeah.
Professor Mafidon,
yeah.
and his Kingdom.
And his whole family.
And his whole entire family, who are known as the smartest family in the world. The very interesting thing about them is the story of each of the children of the family. We have Mary, who, when she was 27, already had a PhD, was a member of the British Empire, honored by the Queen, who, when she was 13 years old, she passed her A-level computing exams. Exceptionally, she got into Johns Hopkins University at about that same age, or before she was 20, she had graduated, and she had graduated before 20 from Oxford University with a master's degree, and speaks multiple languages, specialized in mathematics and computer science, and has a special program for STEM program, that is science and technology and engineering mathematics programs. So she has a special program for that, and just very exceptional. And she's been able to raise 15,000 girls all by herself in the United Kingdom, Ireland, and Europe to prove that she's deserving of the honor of the MBA. She's been able to do exceptionally well.
This lady,
27, 28 years old, has been able to raise 15,000 young girls across
the United Kingdom,
in science and technology education. Also, her sister is called Christiana, who by the time she was 23, was already the youngest student in history to ever get accepted to study at an undergraduate institution. She got accepted when she was 11 years old to study as an undergraduate at any British university. She was just 11 when she was accepted. Now, she had worked at different places, and of course, like her sister, she's also on research in mathematics, also at Oxford University. Then we have Samantha Imafidon, who passed 2 high school level mathematics and statistics exams at the age of 6.
Can you believe it?
So it's like in the family, they keep beating each other's record.
It's running in the family.
So they keep beating each other's record. By the time she was 9, she became the youngest girl in the United Kingdom to attend secondary school. She was just 9 years old. Then she mentored her twin sisters, who, when they were 6, had also become mathematics champions in the United Kingdom. The sisters were Peter and the twins that followed were Peter and Paula, and they are known as the United Kingdom's Wonder Twins. They are known as Great Britain's Wonder Twins. They are the current highest achievers of mathematics in the United States. At 9 years old,
in the United Kingdom.
In the United Kingdom. At 9 years old, both of them, they made history as the youngest children in British history to attend high school.
British history.
In the history of the United Kingdom. They passed all A's at their advanced level math papers. So at the advanced level math papers, they passed with all A's, and they are not just into
adults at 6 years old, eh?
Yes, by the time they were 9, they were already into high school. And by the time they were 6, they had already passed their math exams.
And these are stuff that even 20 years old are struggling with.
But Nigerians are doing it at a very young age of 6, of 9, at 11, they had been admitted into the university for undergraduate education. They are also athletic champions. They are champions of 100 meters and 400 twins. One of them is a champion, 100-meter champion. The other is a 400-meter champion. And, you know, very, very exceptional. Very, very, very exceptional family. They are
all-rounded.
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 All-rounded family. So that also is a task that every family in Nigeria.
Then we have the most chartered accountants in one family.
Also the most chartered accountant in one family.
They are all Nigerians.
They are all Nigerians too. So it's the story of David Omoya Dafinon. I think he's from Edo, Delta State, thereabout, who has he has an accounting firm, and also all of his children. In fact, this is actually a World Guinness record. Yes, they have the certificate from the Guinness Book of World Records as the most chartered accountant in one family.
Now, you have so many other things in this book, and his students and Gangote and all the other people that we know.
Yes.
But our time is going to come to an end. What are the things I was saying towards the end of this book? What are my speech, addresses to the government, to the people, and
towards the end of the book, you were able to open up the challenge that had begun from the initial chapter, which had always been to the reader, what the reader must understand, what the government was
play a role in making Nigeria.
Yes, in making Nigeria the greatest country
in the world.
In the world. So you intensified on that, what every reader should be able to do
From their own part.
From their own part. There's something that every one of us must do. Knowing the fact that all of these things are there, they are
real. And you carry the same blood
as all of these people. They are very real. They are not, each of these Nigerians again and again.
They are not white people.
They are not white. They keep saying we are not exceptional. We are just ordinary Nigerians.
These are all Nigerians are.
This is why you kept saying it again and again. That everywhere you went on the earth, when you went to Japan, Japanese researchers actually told you that they've carried out the special research that showed that Nigeria among the top three races in the world.
Yeah.
So they've been able to understand that this is a very special group of people. So you intensify that every reader should be able to understand that there's a role for them to play as an individual. Then there's a role for the government to play. The government has a lot to do in encouraging, bringing about this environment.
Building policies.
Policies and systems, putting systems in place that each of the like for example, the smartest family, the most chartered accountant family, all of these special families, there's a way that we can have thousands and thousands of them.
And that is the whole idea about this
of the book. Bring up systems that is able
to put them into a serial production.
Yes. Because you say again and again, also in the book, you say that if it had been done once, then that means it can be done again. It can be repeated.
And that is my strategy. That is my life is predictable idea.
Yeah, you give a challenge also to the people themselves. Like for example,
come back home and reproduce themselves.
Come back and reproduce, and even those on ground, like you said, for example, that there's no reason why we should have just one of Aliko Dangote. That Aliko Dangote should be able to produce thousands and thousands of himself. Aliko Dangote should be a school.
Yeah,
it should be a school that
reproduces millionaires.
And
it should specialize in the production of millionaires.
There's nothing stopping it.
And I'm surprised at the way people don't think about it that way. That's the only way I think.
Wow.
If you become a millionaire, you must be able to produce millionaires. Yes. Become a writer, you must be able to produce writers. Yes. If you become anything you become, you must be able to reproduce others in their thousands.
So it's not just enough for us to have each of these
stars.
We have to be like a galaxy.
And that is probably the part of our oligarchic mindset.
Yes, I think we discussed that in the book.
Elite.
Yes,
instead of us, building an egalitarian society that will make us to come down from our high horses and be able to come to the level of the masses and make them to be able to do the same thing like us and know that we are not some superhuman somewhere. Yep. Well, here we are, everybody. What will you say, about this book before we drop out today?
I would challenge every Nigerian to get a copy of the book, and not just to get a copy of the book for themselves, as many people as possible, especially the politicians, those in power.
If you want to give hope to your children, to make them be proud, to be Nigerian, there's nothing I can do without this book.
Yes, and perhaps people are also young people especially, who are desperate to leave the country, who want to leave the country by every means. They need to get a copy of this book, because when they read the book, like the person who wrote the letter, then you understand that there is absolutely no reason to leave the country.
Leave the country. You don't need to run away.
And if you are
your
outside,
greatness is right
it's
there.
right there in the country. And those who are outside the country, they would not be struggling to get another passport. I just want another passport. Getting another passport should not be a dream for any Nigerian. It shouldn't even be what any Nigerian is considering.
It should be about what you could do, what role you could play
to make Nigeria
the greatest country in the world. Well, Doctors of Success,
thanks, Pastor.
You've done a great job.
Thanks.
Good job. Thank you so much. And thank you so much, friends, for your time. And we'll see you in the next 30 minutes. I'm going to be continuing my series on Pastor Adeboye and the God of Mammon. Pastor Adeboye and the God of Mammon. Today's message is going to be very, very tough, because you will hear Pastor Adeboye crossing his pastors and placing a curse on pastors and members of his church, of people who follow him. They will not believe it. They will say he didn't mean it. That's not what he's saying. But you will see that basically today you will see it with your own eyes. You will hear it with your own ears. That Adeboye, Pastor Adeboye, was placing a curse upon his own people. Sad. But let's wait and see. See you in 30 minutes.